Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Leah. I like to make lifestyle videos, mom videos. Today we are doing, as the title says, baby products I actually used the entire first year of my daughter's life. She is now 17 months as of today filming this, which is insane. She's almost a year and a half old, and that's crazy. So I just wanted to talk about everything that I used literally from newborn all the way to 1 year old. I found these videos super helpful whenever I was looking, and every baby is different, so what I used and what worked for my girl may not necessarily work for yours. And I feel like a lot of people make you think that a lot of stuff is helpful when it's really not. There's just basic things for each category that I wanted to talk about that we used throughout the year. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. For the first category, I have diapers, diapering, all of the things that involve that, basically. I found something super helpful is a friend of mine actually had a baby 4 months before me, so she had a ton of diapers that were half used that she had tried, people had given her that she didn't like, so she passed those on to me, and they were like newborn size 1, all of them. So for the first few months of her life, like I really didn't actually have to buy any diapers because I was set. I had a good amount from the hospital still, and I had a bunch of opened diapers that I could try out and then pass on to somebody else if I didn't like them. So we tried all of them. Pampers irritated her. The Loves, I hated the feel of them from the outside when they were wet. I don't know, it was just like a texture thing. Millie Moon was great but expensive, and we ended up loving and sticking with Huggies. We are still using Huggies. They've just been the best so far, that didn't irritate her, were easy to get a hold of, and are a decent price. Same for Huggies wipes. All different types of wipes were irritating her. We tried the ones from Costco, and then I heard like bad things about those, so I didn't use those anymore. And then the Rico ones gave her the worst like rash I've ever seen in my life for her. So we've stuck with Huggies ever since. No issues since. We used a wipeable pad that I would put on our bed at night, and it actually came in the diaper bag that we had. That I didn't buy anything extra. I loved that. I thought it was perfect for putting on our bed and for the middle of the night changes whenever she would go, and I didn't want to like get pee on the bed in case she peed or anything like that. Another thing I found useful was a diaper caddy. I actually had like a little caddy thing next to our bed, and I would put that on it, and it had diapers, it had wipes, it had any little thing that I could possibly randomly use throughout the night or while I was changing her and everything. And then during the day I would pick that up and take it out into the living room, because the living room's right there. It's not like two different floors where I would want it like two different stations. I just found it the easiest to pick it up and move it. It was a simple one from Target. And then the Ubi diaper pail. I love that thing. We still use it. It's starting to get a smell a little bit now, a year and a half in. I just need to take it out and like deep clean it because I haven't done that, and I don't have any like spray in it or anything, but it is wonderful because you can use any trash bag you want. So we just get like cheap ones from Walmart and switch it out every week. No issues whatsoever. It's fantastic. Moving on into sleep, this one is kind of all encompassing sleep. So the first thing I have is a bassinet. Was so helpful. My friend had a C-section, so hers had like a wall that you could like move down so she could pull her baby towards her. I didn't have that. I just got a cheap like $50 one off of Amazon. Actually, that one, it was technically gifted to us from a friend, and then I gave it back to her. So if we have a second child, I will be getting the exact same one, but it was $50 off of Amazon. So nice. It slid really nicely on our carpet too, which was just like a simple thing, but I would have it up against the bed for when she was sleeping so that I could just reach and like calm her down if she was crying, and then I could slide it away from the bed. Super like seamless, no motion for her whatsoever if I needed to get up and pee. It had like a little thing at the bottom that you could put change of clothes, diapers, anything that I needed. And then we used the Halo Velcro swaddles. Those were fantastic. Very quickly she kind of hated swaddling. She was always fighting to get her arms up, so we transitioned her out pretty much like 3 months in, I think. But before then, the Velcro ones were my favorite, and the Halo ones specifically. The shape of them and everything was just the easiest to use. The other ones where you can like undo the bottom to do diaper changes and stuff, they were just like constantly like curled in on themselves, and they were just very confusing to figure out. And she actually slept like crap in those, especially nap time. Hated those for nap time, so I didn't use those at all. I only used the Halo ones, and I think I had like 3, so I would just switch them out. I would use them a couple times at night unless she went through them. And then from then, we used the Magic Merlin sleep suit. That thing was wonderful. She wasn't rolling, but she hated being swaddled. I forget what that's called, where they like wake up from any little movement. It's been a minute. I haven't had to think about that for a while. But she would wake up very frequently, so they actually figured it out at daycare that helped her sleep the best. So when we transitioned out of swaddles but still needed a little something, that she slept so long in that and so good, and she was just fantastic. I always had the little outlet sock on her too, just to make sure she was fine, but we're definitely using that again, because that was... And then I already mentioned it, but the owlet sleep sock, I didn't use that very long, and I waited a minute because while she was in the bassinet next to me, I really didn't need it. It was more for when she was in the Magic Merlin and she was in the Pack and Play that we eventually transitioned her to when she started rolling and was too big. I didn't want to move her to her own room just yet because she was still waking throughout the night periodically, and it was just easier to keep her in here. So that just helped, and then once we transitioned her to her own room, that really gave me peace of mind. It only went off a couple of times that were false alarms, and honestly, it wasn't really bad. Like, I just kind of went in there, made sure she was okay, and it didn't give me like inaccurate readings or anything like that. One thing I found super helpful was colored light bulbs. I would turn it on like a deep red and then keep it very low, and that just really helped her know that it was bedtime. And she's been a great sleeper, and I don't know if that's just her completely or if it's anything that we did, but that's one of the things that I did, and she just really would stay calm and just be amazing at night. She loved to look at it. It was like one of her favorite things. I have a little video of holding her, and I'd move her back and forth, and her head was turning to look at the light. She was just fascinated with it, and I think it just really helped regulate her. And then we would turn it on at night whenever she would wake. I would just need like a low light, and the red light really helped her stay calm and quiet and know that it wasn't time to wake up yet. One thing that we didn't use right away, I just had a little one in here, but once we moved her to her own room, is the Hatch sound machine. That thing has been great. We have the Generation 2, so it wasn't part of the recall, and it's been amazing. I love being able to program it, so I have it set up to start doing like a sleepy time whenever we're getting ready for bed, and then after 30 minutes it automatically changes. Sometimes we're turning it on before that, sometimes it's turning on before we're ready, but for the most part it's pretty accurate how I had it set up, and then I don't have to get up and change it. But if I do, Anya loves to just tap it herself. It's super easy to use. We have it set up for the morning time that it doesn't automatically change, but one thing I like to do is put it on birds, and then it has like the rainbow colors. She loves to look at that, and that gets her super excited to know that we're coming in a little bit. So I kind of worked with her when she was first starting to wake on her own and she was in her own room. I would turn that on, wait a little bit, and then go in there, and now she fully knows that means we're coming to get her, and she loves it. And I love that I can use it from my phone. It's just such a nice perk of being a mom in 2025 that you can do things from your phone. And so I love being able to just do that. I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna get her up, and I turn that on, and then I go get her bottle ready, and then I go get her. Another thing is a humidifier. We've been through several so far. Some didn't work very well, some molded immediately. Right now we are using the Frida Baby one, and I don't put the drops in it because I've heard bad things with that, is like that can make it mold and whatnot, so I haven't done any of that. It's easy to clean, and I'm having no issues with it so far, and we've been using it for about 4 months probably. Another game changer for that is using distilled water. I didn't know you were supposed to do that, so that has been amazing because it was putting like a white residue everywhere because we have very hard water. Zippered pajamas. She basically lived in those for the first 2 months of her life. Daycare, I only dropped her off and kept extras of those because it was just the easiest to change her. Because, you know, like when they're little, their digestive system isn't great, so they're going every 5 seconds, so it was just the easiest to keep her in. Like, I did not put her in cute outfits for a very long time. I think it was 3 months that I started using outfits. And then I got a like cheap 3-piece set of double zippered sleep sacks, and she's still using those now. We've tried not using them here and there, and she just doesn't really sleep well. She really likes having it. She'll literally, I'll lay it on the floor and she will go sit on it because she wants it on. It's just basically an extra blanket for her, and she knows that means it's bedtime. But yeah, I didn't get anything super expensive. I think it was like $20 for 3 of them, and I accidentally bought the too big size, so I got the smaller size, and now she is using the too big size, which she's kind of starting to grow out of. She's kind of a shorty, so she's still in them, but she's starting to get a little too big, and I don't know if I should get her new ones or if I should just stop using them. And then the last thing for sleep that I found super helpful is just paper blackout curtains. We have them in here still, but we used them whenever she was in here originally, and then we had them in her room as well, and those are still there. But they basically are paper, and you just kind of accordion style fold them down. But they're not like the best, but they're paper, so they were cheap, and I just tape them whenever I see that they're starting to like show light coming through. But at night they are fantastic. Like, it just sucks you can't really like fold them up nicely. They come with like little clips, but they're not the best for that reason. But if you are leaving it down 24/7, fantastic. The next category is eating, everything involved. So that means bottles, food, anything. She did not like nursing. We quit that pretty quickly, so we moved to bottles, and we tried a couple different kind, but the best ones I found for us were the Avent Natural Bottle. I've heard good things about trying to switch from the natural to breastfeeding, kind of doing both. I didn't do that, and she had no issues transferring to that. She had no issues getting milk from that, and it didn't give her really bad gas like I was getting from other bottles. So we started with the little tiny ones, and then we moved to the 9-ounce ones, and we still randomly will use that. We're kind of trying to transition off the very last bottle right now, which is proving to be difficult, but she loves them. They're comfort. We also use the Avent bottle warmer, and that has been amazing. I love being able to just like twist it to where I want it, and it works fantastic, and I've had no issues with it because someone loves her milk warm and does not like cold milk at all. I used a glass pitcher for when I was pumping and I was pouring all of my milk into. I got it off of Amazon. It was fantastic. I ended up having to get 64 ounces because I was an overproducer, so that worked for me fantastically. I loved it. Same for pumping and whatnot. I used a ton of different milk storage bags. I think the Motif ones are my favorite. Whenever I'm using them now, when they're frozen, I like to be able to just rip off the side and pour it out instead of having to open it up. That is a nice little feature. I used a ton of different milk pumping cups. I really liked Spectra, and Motif as well was also a really nice one. I feel like they just screwed on really nice. I had no leaks with them, and then just using them with my Spectra pump was great. I also had a Willow pump, and I loved the Willow Goes for pumping at work, pumping on the go here. It was fantastic. I also used a Lancino whenever I wanted to use a manual and I didn't want to like dirty up any parts, or if my parts were already dirty, I was like, fine, I'll just use the Lancino. So I use that every once in a while. And then I also tried out Hakas. I didn't use those very long. I would use them with Epsom salt to like help clear out a blockage, which I've heard now you're not supposed to do, but I used it and it worked fantastic. It was fascinating to watch it just leave my body. I also got a 3-tiered cart from Walmart I used next to my nightstand, and it was wonderful. On the very top, I usually had the diaper caddy, and then the second one I would have like anything I needed for pumping, so I'd have my breast pump there, and then the bottom I just had like snacks and anything extra. That one really didn't get used very much. Burp rags. Oh my goodness, burp rags. Didn't use any fancy burp rags or anything like that. I think they were tea towels off of Amazon, and there was like, I don't even know how many, like 24 of them for like the price of 3 of those really nice soft ones, and they worked amazing. Absolutely amazing. No issues. The more you wash them, the softer they get. For actual moving into eating, we have Bluey silverware from Walmart that she's been doing great with. It's like the plastic handles with the stainless steel actual like mouthpiece, and they've been wonderful. She eats so well with those. I have Cloud Island plates from Target that we've been using. We have 2 of those, and then I have 2 of the Nuke plates, I believe, that have like the lid to it, and I have 4 plates total. That's all I use. And then I have the Nuke straw cups. Those have been fantastic. They are the best thing I've found so far to help transition off of bottles, because she's having an issue with like the Zac cups where you have to bite to suck. She's not really liking that as much. I think it's just she needs more practice with it, but to actually like transition off of bottles, the Nuke straw cups are the easiest to clean that aren't super annoying. They do leak a little bit only when you're heating up the milk. It just leaks out the top. But other than that, they really don't leak at all, and they have been fantastic. She is almost fully off of her bottles completely. Just that night one, we have like a little bottle at night, but we do like 90% of the bottle in a new cup at dinner. And then for water, all we've been using so far is the Dr. Brown like straw cup. She loves that cup. I don't know what it is. I think it's part of the handle to it. She loves being able to slide the top open and close. Haven't had no issues. Washing it is like a breeze, not a big issue. You just kind of got to be a little careful when you're cleaning inside of it. For travel, I have a couple different things here. So I have the Even Flow Pivot like system. It was an Even Flow car seat with the base and then the stroller that you could put the toddler part or the actual car seat onto it. Amazing. Get yourself a system, no matter what system that is. That is the best way to make sure that you have a stroller that works and you have a car seat, and you can put the car seat on the stroller and not have to like deal with getting a separate stroller. It's wonderful. Now that she's out of that, we have the Even Flow Gold Revolve 360 car seat. I love that thing. I keep hearing recalls and people saying it doesn't work, but it's literally every single case so far has been where it wasn't clicked back into place. It was sideways with no child in it, and that's basically like setting your car seat on top of the base without clicking it in. Like if you're not using it properly, it's gonna be unsafe. But we have a truck and she's in the very center, so I have to climb up into the truck to put her in there. And being able to rotate that towards me is just a game changer. I don't know how it would be properly, like, it would be fine, I would do it, but it would be so annoying if I had to climb up into the truck and like fully turn over the car seat so that I could get her tightened up in there. Being able to turn her towards me and just plop her in. She doesn't really fight me that much to get her in there. She loves looking up, and like sliding is like one of her favorite things. We say wee when we turn it. And then sometimes if we're like in a car wash where it's like sitting and my husband is going around washing it, I will turn her around so she's forward facing so she can see everything. She loves being able to do that. She's not quite old enough. I think it has to be 50 pounds and she's almost at 30 at this point, so it's like we got plenty of time before I'm gonna forward face her, but I do like to do that so that she can watch the whole windshield whenever my husband is washing the car. She really enjoys that. And then a car camera has been so nice to have. I really didn't want a mirror because she's in the center. It's really hard to like figure out a mirror system, and I've seen where a light will be hitting the mirror and it burns the car seat, so I just don't want to deal with that whatsoever. And then a diaper bag. I forget what brand ours is, so I'll have it linked. Everything in this video will be linked down below, by the way. But I have just like a backpack so my husband can use it too. I'm getting to the point that that's almost too big now, so I'm trying to find like a good purse that I can use that looks girly and cute but is still big and functional to have, because I'm an overpacker. I always pack too many things, so I don't want to just bring like 2 things. But I feel like the backpack is starting to feel overkill. But I used it the entire first year. It was the bag we used at daycare. It's been great. The Moby baby wrap, I didn't use that super long just because you can't use it once they get a little bit big, but basically my entire maternity leave I was using that so I could move around the house because she was a Velcro baby, wanted to be held 24/7, so having just her wrapped right up against my chest, she would take naps. It was great. I could go clean. I filmed a lot of videos where I was wearing her, but I never ended up like editing those and posting them. I just wanted to take that time, but I have cute little videos of her sleeping on my chest, and it was just really cute. And I liked being able to go to like the store, keeping her wrapped so nobody would touch her. Loved that. But yeah, we'd only use that for a few months just because she became too big, and then she was more interested in everything anyway. We used 1 set of pacifier clips, and I'm missing pretty much all of them now, and we don't use them anymore just because she doesn't really need them. But she would just constantly pop out a pacifier, or she would just like be doing something and it would fall, and I didn't want it to hit the ground, so I just got like a cute little like fruit set, and they were so cute. I could be like, do we want to wear strawberries today? Do we want to wear avocados today? And that's all we ever used. I mentioned it earlier, but we had a Graco pack and play, and we still use that. It had like the top attachments where you could have the changing table and the bassinet, and we had that out in the living room so that I could change her there and put her there for naps. She didn't really like that for naps though, But now we don't, like, I pulled that all out and now we just have the actual pack and play, and that's so helpful if we go to grandma's and she's watching her and we stay out past her bedtime. If we're going somewhere and she's gonna sleep in it, like, it's just so nice to have that, and, you know, like a classic pack and play, you can't go wrong. Another thing I found super helpful is a shopping cart cover. When they're first getting to sit in the shopping cart, they're very interested in everything and they like to put their mouth on everything. And I was not about to get hand, foot, and mouth. That was not happening. And she wasn't, like, super good at sitting up on her own when it's moving. She was great at sitting, but, like, if it's moving, she's like, whoa. So I didn't want her to hit the metal of the shopping cart when we would go. It was basically for the old Walmart, like, shopping carts, but it still fit the new ones. It's a bit more awkward to put on, but it's not a big deal. And it's just so nice that she can't really touch anything. And we would still wipe down the cart before we put it on. But that's so nice. Some people don't like it because it's like, now it's dirty, but I would just take it home and wash it. Like, it's not a big deal. Moving on into baby care. For bath time, I loved the Angel Care bath support. That thing was just so perfect to lay her in. I didn't have to have, like, an entirely separate thing. It just sat in the bathtub. She loved bath time. She still does, but she loved being able to just lay down. Like, it was super comfy. I would just put a little washcloth over her and, like, I could reach everything I needed to. It wasn't, like, super annoying. Really liked that. And then when she got a little bit bigger and she wasn't quite good at sitting up, I just flipped it over. We didn't use that very long. Honestly, I kind of just took it away and said, sink or swim, have fun, and now she's all about the bathtub. One thing that I've pretty much used this entire first year, I think I'm still on the original lotion, is the Aveeno, like, baby soap and the lotion combo. I got that as a gift, and I'm still using the lotion. I think we're just running out of that. And then the Aveeno soap, I ran out probably at around 9 months, and then I tried out Dove, but I think I'm going to go back to Aveeno. I really, really like that. It's just, like, there's no scent to it. There's no issues with it. She never had any eczema, nothing. And I feel like she's got good skin, but I feel like certain things make her break out. She's kind of got sensitive skin like me. Like, any Fragrant allergens, I've noticed she gets little bumps on her hands. Same kind of vibe with the Fragrant allergens. We're using the Free and Clear detergent. I think it might be called Free and Clear. I don't remember, but it's white. I remember that. And she's had no issues with that touching her skin. Doesn't have any issues with her clothes, thankfully, so we're still using that. I use it on everybody's stuff. I don't have, like, separate baby stuff. And anything labeled baby pretty much isn't actually baby safe. It's just another way to make money off of you. So I just go for the Free and Clear stuff. That has been, like, wonderful. I have the Dapple dish soap, though. I need to get the Free and Clear Dawn. I think I have to order that. I don't think I have anything around me that carries that. But we've been using the Dapple. It gets everything clean, doesn't bother her whatsoever. And it's, like, a better brand compared to some of the other ones that say they're baby safe. A not fun thing that she hated but was so helpful despite me not wanting to use it was the Frida Baby, like, nose Frida. That thing, I tried to use, like, the breast pump kind of hack to it, but it just wasn't strong enough. It was just way faster and quicker for me to just, and it would get anything out. Now she's kind of, and I had to fight her. I had to hold her down and fight her to do that, which obviously because they don't like it and they don't know what's happening and it's not the most pleasant thing in the world. But it was quick. It got all the boogers out that I needed and she would be able to breathe at night. But I've slowly been able to work with her because she's just very sensitive about her nose. But we're almost to the point now that I can use, like, the handheld one and she laughs and likes it. I'm trying to get her to the point that she'll do it herself. But yeah, that was, like, for, like, the first few months when she was sick, being at daycare and it was, like, cold and flu season. That was super helpful to have. And then I had the nail filer because she was so little that I didn't want to get her skin. And that was helpful for a little bit, but honestly, now that she's older, the clippers have been so nice. I just turn on Miss Rachel and she just wants to watch and gives me a finger, lets me do it. And it's just quicker to, I feel like with the files, I was constantly, like, hurting her nails because it spins one way and spins another. So if you don't know what you're doing, it can, like, irritate them. And it just was harder for me to get them short faster because it's very soft. And I was, like, flipping them out when I needed to. But I just feel like the clippers are just quicker for me. And then I actually, from her doctor, got recommended to use the Parent's Choice diaper rash ointment. It has more zinc in it. He said anything with zinc is way better to have. And he used that at the doctor's appointment whenever she had a little rash. So I've been using that ever since, and it's way cheaper than any of the other brands that have the same amount of zinc, and it's had no issues on her whatsoever. It clears up any little irritation that she's ever had. One thing that we haven't used in a very long time but was so helpful was Gripe Water. A lot of newborn parents will tell you Gripe Water is wonderful. It settles any tummies and instantly makes hiccups stop. There's something about it. Sometimes when she was just like irritated, we wouldn't even use gas drops, which we also used a lot. Sometimes we would just use Gripe Water and it would help her settle so fast. I don't know what magical properties are in it, but it worked really well for us. Another thing for bath time is bath stickers. I don't know what about those, because we have like a slightly textured bathtub and it's super annoying because like nothing wants to stick to it. No mats will stick to it, but it's not textured enough that she can't slip. So I found bath stickers have been one of the most helpful things for us. And then the last thing is gel mix. This you kind of really need to have like from a pediatrician, not ordering it, but have it like recommended to you from a pediatrician. But since I was on breast milk specifically for her, mixing in like oatmeal or something else, it doesn't really work with breast milk. It kind of breaks down breast milk, which isn't ideal. Gel mix is designed to be mixed with breast milk and formula, and it was amazing. Oh my gosh. I had a different baby when we started using that. It's really good for a lot of different things, like if they have swallowing issues and whatnot, but our thing was specifically like it would sit in her stomach, she would take a nap, she would get up from her nap, and then she would be on her stomach and she would spit up. It was just not settling in her tummy, and I didn't know if it was my diet, I didn't know if it was something I was doing wrong, and the doctor was like, let's just thicken it up, maybe it just needs to be thicker. So we tried that and we used that. I don't even know how long. It was most of the first year. I think it was right around her birthday when I was able to finally cut that out. She was always crying. She was almost colicky there for like month 3, and I was just like trying to figure out anything, and that she was a different baby. She was happy, she was playful, she could do things, she could play, she could be on her tummy, she could do tummy time, she could roll over. It was a game changer for us. And the last category is just miscellaneous things that I didn't know where else to put it that I found very helpful for the first year. The first one, a play mat or like a play gym. I loved ours. It was wooden and I could put little cards on it. It had little hanging things, but it wasn't busy. And she did so well with that. And then I would take off the top and just have the little mat part. I also had a little Einstein one that had like the piano to it, and so she could kick it, and it was wonderful. She loved that thing. I still have the piano. She still likes to play that every once in a while. A boppy pillow I actually found helpful despite not breastfeeding. I would still lay her down on that and feed her if I wanted, because she was so tiny, if I wanted her to be a little up higher and not have to like prop up with pillows. That was super helpful. And then when she got to a certain point that she could hold her own bottles, but she couldn't quite like sit up or anything, I would just lay her on the boppy and just give her bottle. And then I would like go about the morning getting ready and she would just lay there. When she was really young, a Graco swing was super helpful. I loved having that thing. It was just, she was so Velcro baby that being able to put her places that made her happy was so nice. She didn't really like bouncers very much, so we didn't really utilize those, but the swing would keep her calm for about 10 minutes, I'd say. An exerciser, a lot of people say these aren't great, but if you have it at the right height and they're not on their tiptoes, she loved that thing. Anytime that she was starting to get on the move but couldn't quite get into things but needed something to do, that was a perfect place to just pop her in. When we needed to pull out weeds, I would take it outside, pop her in that, and she would have a great time. Yeah, I'd say we used that for quite a few months. I can't even remember how long, but eventually, obviously, she got old enough that she didn't need it anymore. Baby gates. We still use baby gates. I put those up a little early just to make sure that they would be good and that they were in good spots before. But I have one in the back room for the fireplace. I put like our little heater back there, and then we also have the cat box so that she can't get into the litter. And it kind of it jets out a little bit, so that's like the perfect space. And then we also have one so she can't get into the kitchen, which she has also now learned that she can come through the bedroom and through the bathroom. So that's a little thing. She learned that she can do that, and she knows how to open the door, so we have to lock it instead of just closing it. It has to like fully be locked. She's kind of getting to the point that she understands things, but yeah, they're very helpful when you need her to just stay. Oh, and then we also put a retractable one for just the playroom. So if I need her to just stay in that room and not go through the dining room or something while I'm making dinner, that is so nice, but it's so like out of the way when it retracts and it's not like bothering me. That one's really nice. I like that one. The very last thing that I found super helpful is noise canceling headphones for babies, not for you. When we would go to parades and stuff, we would just pop those on, and she was a very chill baby, so maybe other babies won't like that, but when she realized like she could hear but it was like muffled, she loved it. She did a great job with those, and they go up to like 24 months, I think, so I think we're still going to use them for this time around for like the Easter parade is around the corner, and we got the summer parade coming up. Like, she's gonna love those, I think, again, just to make sure that it's not too loud for her. But that is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I also did like a little bit of baby-led weaning, so if you would like to see that and my tips and tricks, what I found helpful, I have a fantastic eater so far at 17 months. It might change, but so far has not. She has a great appetite. If you would like to see that, let me know. But anyway, that is the end of this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you would like to see more of my videos. Let me know down below anything that you would like to see. And like I said, anything mentioned in this video will be linked. I don't have any affiliates anywhere because, so it's not like I'm making money off of it. It's just me sharing what I liked, what I found helpful, and I hope you found this helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching again. I hope everybody has a great day, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!